Hi.
Will you go to the dance with me?
Sorry, Lola. I'm done with Holly. Sorry.
And finally, we come to the 2009 film The Loved Ones by writer-director Sean Byrne. The film stars Xavier Samuel, and it was a notable early starring role for Samuel, who is now an increasingly in-demand actor both here in Australia and in the US. He plays Brent, a teenage boy racked with guilt after the death of his father. On the night of the school dance, Brent is kidnapped by classmate Lola, played by Robin McLeavy, and her father, played by John Brumpton.
Lola, who initially seems like a harmless, shy and awkward girl at school who had unsuccessfully asked Brent to go to the school dance with her, turns out instead to be delusional, sadistic and highly unstable. Brent soon discovers himself tied to a chair in Lola's kitchen where she and her father are holding a school dance all of their own, and they've got very particular ideas about what's going to happen and the role Brent will play. Things get progressively more horrific for Brent as the night goes on.
There was a notable resurgence of what became known as torture porn films in the 2000s. And that term is still often derisively used to describe films with high levels of gore and sadism, such as the American Hostel films and the Saw franchise, which was actually created by Australians. The Loved Ones does sort of belong in the torture porn tradition, but it's also notable for its high levels of humour that offset a lot of the more disturbing and intense moments, without diluting the scares and shock value. Samuel, McLeavy and Brumpton are all superb at drawing laughs from the macabre scenario without ever descending into parody. And all the subplots involving Brent's friends and family also prevent the mood from getting too heavy.
The Loved Ones is also notable for its soundtrack, which consists of an electronic score by the legendary Australian composer and performer Ollie Olsen, as well as an eclectic mix of songs by Australian bands ranging from Cosmic Psychos to Casey Chambers. And I've got to say, Thomas, I love this film's use of Casey Chambers' Am I Not Pretty Enough?
Do I cry too much? Am I too outspoken? Don't I make you laugh? Should I try it harder? Why do you
When I find my prince, this is the song we're gonna dance to at my wedding.
I live, I breathe, I let it rain on me. I see,
You're not him.
I wait.
You're just another frog!
The idea of using an ironic piece of music is sometimes overused in cinema, and it's a technique I'm, in general, starting to get a bit tired of. But the way it's done in this film is absolutely superb.
It indicates how this film can have it both ways. There is that parody element, they call it Pretty in Pink, you know, in the horror genre, and yet everyone who's appearing in the film in front of the camera is taking it very seriously.
Yeah, it's a remarkable film actually for how it gets away with, it does get to have its cake and eat it too. Because some of the moments of horror and some of the crimes inflicted upon poor Brent are really horrific. And it's quite surprising how far they go with some of the stuff they do to him. And, you know, as somebody who's seen a lot of horror films, I did really enjoy flinching at some of the more extreme moments in this film. But also, it's so much fun.
I've got to warn you, there are some moments with a drill that I just could hardly watch. But some people love that kind of thing. And I think this is a really interesting part of the genre.
yeah, this is a really good entry into the horror genre in general, not just in Australia, but you know, in world cinema. This is definitely one that's worth checking out if you haven't done so already.